Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. So, as you can clearly see, we're going to be playing some more Katawa Shoujo. Because my weekends seem to be kinda screwy, I'm gonna have at least one stream of this during the week, and then another whenever a weekend day opens up, which is usually like Sunday afternoon-ish. I was initially gonna play some more Stardew today, but I just kind of last minute decided, you know what, I want some Katawa Shoujo. Because why the heck not? So, where did we leave off last time with Katawa Shoujo? Well, we started Act 3. That's pretty good. We're officially with Emmy. We're just we tried to hype ourselves up for a date, because we're also really nervous about it. The date ended up being kind of a little impromptu picnic kind of thing. We just grabbed some stuff from a convenience store and then sat down and ate. Unfortunately, Emmy was hiding something from us. During the date and even the next day after our morning run. Her prosthetics have been kind of digging into her stumps. And she's just been kind of waving it off. Oh, it's nothing, it's nothing. Like, not even seeing the nurse. Just like, no, it's cool, it's nothing. It goes to see the nurse for her normal checkup and never bothers to let him, but never lets him actually check her legs. So, we're just trying to find something to do in an off day, because we didn't actually see Emmy. After class, I'm pretty sure. We're just kind of hanging out in the library, and then all of a sudden, she gives us a call. Almost sounding like in a panic and kind of crying. So we rush to her room, and what do we find? Sorry, I'm just grabbing some new batteries for my mouse. We find Emmy, without her legs on, sitting in a wheelchair. Yeah, she managed to give herself an infection with all the rubbing, that she didn't bother to get checked. So, the nurse ordered her to, well, not use at least one leg. But she figured, what's the point? So she just took both of them off and is now rolling around in a wheelchair. And she's gonna be like that, apparently, for a few weeks, while the infection heals. So obviously, we are very worried. We were very right that she was hiding something, but we don't want to call her out on it. And that actually ended up leading to our first, happy fun time with her. Woo! We didn't actually see anything because that's turned off. I even threw the logo up to block it. Because, well, yeah, I'm not showing that on stream. I don't feel like taking that chance. I'm just gonna do something real quick before we start. So, yeah, that happened. Just doing some stuffs. Stuffity stuff. Good. That takes care of that. Alright. Anywho. Enough of dawdling around. Let's get back into it. This is the day after we had our, first time together. Yep. And yeah, let's just keep going. Sunlight breaks through my window shortly before my alarm ruins the morning silence. I feel sore. The events of the previous evening suddenly intrude upon my consciousness, and I find myself blushing. That was an eventful evening, and it explains perfectly the soreness in my lower back. Yeah, after their first time, they were interrupted by Rin just kind of barging into the room to look at a cloud. And then they just figured, let's do it the day after. Let's just keep going. After she left. Hey, Jan, how's it going? Not working today? Or are you just on a quick break? I'm not. Didn't get any offers for a full day, so decided not to go in. Alright, cool. Well, I'm glad I decided to do this today then. I'm really glad I decided to play Katawa Shoujo then today. Good last minute decision on my part. Everything is working out. Yes, yes it is. It was destiny. I'm just gonna... Yeah, I've been meaning to add this back in. I just kind of forgot about it this whole time. Where is it? Right here? There, I'm gonna throw chat back in. So chat will show up on the, bottom right-hand side now. I've been meaning to throw that back into this. I just kind of forgot about it entirely. Oh well. It's there now. The walk back, as I recall, had been rather tense. My trousers having been soiled, I had washed them off in the bathroom before going back to my room. But there was still a fairly obvious looking stain on the front. Oh my god. Fortunately for me, the only person I ran into on my way back was Kenji. And he didn't notice a thing. Well, apart from my being in the general vicinity. Of course, he'd asked how the night went, and whether or not I'd learned anything of importance. I don't even know if I opened my mouth to answer. I was too tired to care. And this morning, I'll admit I'm feeling pretty worn out. Still, Emmy had promised to meet me at the track, and I'd hate to disappoint. She is indeed waiting for me when I arrive. Doing her best to look cheery, despite the fact she's sitting in a wheelchair. I wave to her and begin stretching. You're early. Emmy frowns and shakes her head.
Ridiculous. You're late. Overslept, Hisao? All tuckered out?
Well, at least she seems more like her old self. And as expected, she doesn't seem that shy about mentioning our previous activities. Hey, you're lucky I could show up at all. All that cardiovascular activity last night, I nearly thought I'd have to see the nurse afterwards. Damn, bro! Are you just really that out of shape? Or were you guys doing some crazy stuff? Emmy laughs out loud, and then her face suddenly becomes concerned.
Hey, that's not, I mean, you're not.
Go on, spit it out.
It's just that it would be hard to explain if you had an episode while we were.
Oh. Oh. Now that she mentions it, it really is a legitimate concern. Yeah, if we remember back to in Lily's route, I mean, we skipped most of that scene because it was turned off for Twitch reasons. We were, in fact, about to have a goddamn heart attack when we took the lead for once during. So, yeah, that is a legitimate concern. We could die having sex. The difference between Lily's route and this route, however, we've been actually doing real exercise, so our heart is a little bit stronger. It could probably handle that. I certainly hadn't thought of it last night, of course. Other, more pressing concerns had been at hand. Well, I don't think anything we do is going to be any more of a strain than these morning runs. And I handle those fine, so... Emmy considers this point. Oh my god. That face. That goddamn face. A devious light appears in her eyes.
Say.
Hmm? The light vanishes, and Emmy grins ruefully at me. I can't help but feel vaguely suspicious.
I seem to have forgotten a pair of gloves.
What do you need gloves for? Emmy indicates the chair upon which she is seated.
For this, of course. Sure, regular moving around is all well and good without 'em, but I want to be able to get a workout. Get a good workout.
Yeah, literally after the last one, we're gonna go right into the next one.
And to get that kind of speed, you gotta have gloves if you don't want blisters.
So what? Are you wussing out on me then? Do I have to go it alone? Emmy thinks for a minute. Or pretends to think.
If I remember right, there's a spare pair or two in the track shed.
So she does seriously want to do it then. But in her normal school uniform? I'd have expected her to wear her gym outfit for something like this. Wait, what are they doing there? Okay, that's a word I've never seen before, to be honest, but alright then. Emmy looks askance at me.
Seriously? You can't think of why a shed full of track supplies at a school for the disabled would have racing gloves?
Well, when she puts it that way, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Hey, I'm still getting used to this place. Give me a break, huh?
I guess I can let it slide this time. Now come on, I'll need your help.
I can't imagine what for, but then again, I didn't have a clue why racing gloves would be in the shed, so I'm not willing to press the issue. Emmy navigates her way to the shed easily enough, though I can hear her grumbling under her breath. It's actually kind of cute. I hurry a little to reach the door first. Opening it will be easier for me than for her. The door opens, and Emmy starts to wheel inside, only to come to a sudden halt at the doorway. Seems like the door sill is slightly too high for her to get over by herself. She makes a few runs at it, unsuccessfully, before crossing her eyes and glaring at the offending object.
Stupid wheelchair. Sal, can you give me a hand here?
Sure, no problem. It's a simple enough matter for me to bump Emmy over the doorway, jostling her slightly.
Hey, easy there!
Whoops, sorry. It's at about this time that I fail to notice where I'm going and run Emmy's chair into a mat. She gives a startled yelp and topples forward out of her chair. There's a moment of silence as I gaze in horror upon what I've done, and Emmy glares at me.
Sal,
Yes?
promise me you'll never work at a hospital.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Emmy giggles and holds up a hand.
Would you kindly help me back into my chair, Sal?
As I bend down to pick up Emmy, she grins in triumph and pulls me into a kiss that quickly has us both entirely unconcerned about getting her back into the chair. In fact, as I move to a more comfortable position, I confess that the chair is pushed out the door, which, startled by the passage, swings shut. Oh, god damn it! There we go. That took me by surprise. That was so fast. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're ready to clip that. I forgot how fast that scene moves. Okay. I should have been more prepared for that. Let's see if I can resize this just a little bit better, so it doesn't block the text. Pretty sure a clip with nudity would be removed, right? I mean, potentially. I'm not 100%. Okay, that's a little better. I swear to God, if she moves around. Oh well. Anyway, continuing on. Well, at least we got privacy now, which is a good thing as my hands work quickly to remove Emmy's blouse and skirt. I'm startled to discover that she's forgotten to put her bra on today. Did she plan this? No, she totally didn't plan this, Asao. Her arms hook under mine and rest on my shoulders as I kiss my way down Emmy's neck, pausing to give special attention to a spot right where the neck meets the shoulder that I found last night.
You've gotten pretty good at this.
Oh my god. Wait, what? The door just closed and he's like, let's get down to business? Yes. Yes, the door has closed. I think he got the idea that, yeah, this is what she wants to do. I don't know. Hormones. Just the hormones are going nuts. Also, wasn't he complaining earlier that he was sore and tired from everything they did last night? He got maybe 8 hours of sleep. And is ready to do a morning run, and then decides, yep, let's do it again. Damn. Yep. You know, I don't think I have my thing marked for mature, so I'm gonna have to quickly do that right now, cause yeah, this is gonna be a thing. Oh, I already have it turned on. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Already have mature content turned on. I do try. Emmy pushes on my chest, insistently, and I draw back with a puzzled expression.
I've got a confession, Hisao.
Oh? Having pulled back, I decide instead to focus my attention on her breasts. Do not do a frickin' close-up. Please do not make me move this sensor again. Okay. As she attempts to speak, her words are interspread with giggles that I find incredibly cute.
I don't actually whoa, wear gloves.
Oh my god, that was cringy. I apologize. Yeah, cringe city right here. My own reply is rather mumbled onto her chest instead of being addressed to her face. Should have known. Words quickly become irrelevant. Emmy's movements are almost frantic, as if she's been holding something back since we met this morning, and now she has an outlet. I'm very nearly caught off guard by her aggressiveness, feeling her nearly rip my shirt off, the way she seems to vie to be in the dominant position. He has awakened the beast! Yeah, and Emmy's like literally trying to rip his shirt off. Getting pretty primal in there. For my part, I confess that I'm caught up in her attitude as well, fighting back, rolling and wrestling, even as I caress her breasts, even as I dig my fingers into her shoulders and lose track of where we are. Oh, thank Christ. Okay, I gotta keep the game down here so I can easily move this thing around after. Please do not move anymore. Do not move to the sides. Please! I am not ready. So much so that I roll right off the mat and land on something small and rather hard. Ow! Emmy, still flustered and breathing a little heavily, peers at me and bursts into laughter.
I'm sorry. Are you alright?
Yeah, I think so. Not sure what I landed on, though. I reach under my back and pull the offending object out, inspecting it closely. Personal lubricant. Lemon flavored. Wait, what? Emmy's eyes shoot upwards, and she begins, if possible, to laugh even harder. Somehow, I don't think this isn't track related.
Oh man, I know whose that is.
Jesus, I fucked that up. Whatever. What? Citric acid again. That would be so bad for one's hoo-ha. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, don't even want to begin to know how that would even feel.
It's the track captains.
Ah, my old nemesis. Or kind of. How would you know it's his? It appears that I've asked a stupid question. Or at least Emmy thinks so.
Because he's the one who told me the track shed was a good place for... what did he call them? Clandestine encounters.
Oh? He invite you to one or something? Emmy bursts into more laughter. I confess the sight of a naked Emmy laughing is oddly beautiful. I feel an eagerness to end conversation and get back to what we were doing, despite my rather pointed questioning.
Hisao, the track captain's gay.
Huh. Really? And here I initially thought you two were a couple.
Well, I did have a crush on him when I first joined up, but he wasn't interested. Obviously. But we are good friends, I guess. I mean, he told me all about this, you know.
I hesitate to ask. I really do, but I ask anyway. But what does he need the, lube for anyway? I mean, he doesn't, How the hell does Emmy always manage to not blush?
Obviously, he uses it for, you know, anal.
I try to suppress a snicker. I'm also just gonna check right now. Good, that is still turned off. That's all I needed to see. Good. Always gotta be sure. I fail. Emmy's giggling too. And he tells you about all this? Emmy shrugs.
Yeah, of course. He's kind of wild about the whole thing.
Bruh. What are you brahing about?
He says it's a feeling that can't be beat.
He's making a big deal about talking about butt stuff. Yeah. Huh. The air in the track shed seems charged with some kind of horrible curiosity. I don't know, like, he's gay, so don't know what else he expected. Hisao is kind of dense. He's pretty dumb most of the time. That's interesting. I suppose I'll have to take his word for it.
Well,
Birds outside stop chirping. The wind dies down. Somewhere, a man is drinking a cup of coffee. He freezes with the cup at his lips. Am I coming through clearly, by the way? I slightly changed the gain, so I don't know if I'm too quiet, too loud. Okay, you're coming I'm coming through? Sweet. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's just what I wanted to know.
we could maybe try it.
My jaw suddenly and spontaneously unhinges and hits the floor. What? Emmy is finally blushing, rubbing the back of her head ruefully. Emmy just screaming,
I also have a butthole, you know.
oh boy.
Well, it's just that we really can't do what we did last night, you know? It would be a little... It wouldn't be safe, you know? I mean, it wasn't exactly a great idea last night. So, you know, we could try this to see if it,
Is as good?
well, yeah. Basically.
Huh. Shrimp on the bobby. And I'm ready to move this around at a moment's notice, in case she's moved somewhere else. Okay, yeah. Okay, so far I think she's gonna pop up in the exact same spot. So yeah, they tried anal, it didn't go well. If I get, if I just get, canceled for this, okay, whatever. Yeah, nice knowing everybody on Twitch. The sudden switch from pleasure to pain caused me to lose my balance, and I fall forward on top of Emmy.
Ow.
Ow. I quickly roll off Emmy and prop myself up, breathing heavily and trying to ignore the pain in my crotch. Oh my god. My jaw suddenly and spontaneously unhinges and hits the floor. What? Emmy is finally blushing, rubbing the back of her head ruefully. Emmy just screaming,
I also have a butthole, you know.
okay, yeah. Yes, thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for that clip. And I just had to do it in my crappy Emmy voice that I feel like has changed since when I first started doing it. But oh well. I never said I was very good at voice acting. It's just something I'm attempting. Emmy yelps a little as she rolls over. She grabs a couple of the tissues we'd kept handy earlier and cleans up before getting her panties back on and awkwardly leaning against a wall. Still breathing heavily, I decide to sit against the wall next to her. The feeling of the cool concrete against my sweating back is a welcome sensation. Oh, thank God she's in the same spot.
That hurt at the end.
Yeah, it's probably not a great idea. Emmy squirms in order to try and sit down beside me without too much pain. Judging by her wincing, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I'm gonna have words with the captain. He was clearly lying.
The utter and absolute ridiculousness of the situation suddenly hits, and I begin laughing. She's also in a wheelchair now, so she's constantly sitting. Every little bump. Ooh. If you can... You know what? If you can do it and enjoy it, alright. If you can deal with the after effects, alright. Just... Ow. Ow. That's all I'm thinking right now is just ow! Emmy shakes her head and begins laughing with me.
Hey, Hisao.
Yeah?
We're never doing this again, right?
Yeah, I think my curiosity is satisfied on this one. Emmy nods, satisfied.
Good. I think we should maybe stick to the basics, don't you? I mean, most of this is new to me anyway.
What do you mean, most? Emmy grins impishly. Where's our shrimp pick? Did I miss it while I was getting the clip? Let me go back to the clip real quick and actually see. Yeah, you did miss it. The clip is also 40 seconds long for some reason. Oh, 45 seconds long. Any clip I try to make of my own channel is 30 seconds at most, so... How? How'd you manage to make a 45-second clip when I can't even make one going beyond 30? Alright, so either I'm doing something wrong, or you have some option checked that I don't. Maybe being affiliate lets you do more? Maybe? Unless somehow, no, because only I can do highlights. Haven't tried on my own video, though. Because I know if I want more than 30 seconds, I would have to make it a highlight. I don't know, I'll mess around with it later, see what the heck ski's going on with that. And yeah, the shrimp pic did go up a while ago. So you did miss it while you were making the clip, I guess.
I'll never tell.
An unpleasant thought strikes me. Even more unpleasant is the thought of having to ask Emmy about it. I already saw Lily shrimp, so it's okay? Okay. Still, after what we've just done, it should be a cakewalk. Hey, is there a sink? I'd kinda like to, wash off a little. Aftercare, Hisao. Have you heard of it? Emmy's jaw drops.
In the sink?
Well, there's not really anywhere else to do it, is there? And I want to avoid a smell that the nurse might notice. This is the most awkward conversation I've ever had.
You're right. Yeah, there's it's on the back wall. There might be some soap too.
Thanks. There is in fact a little hand soap, which is better than nothing. No towel though. Guess I'll have to drip dry.
All finished?
Yeah, that'll do for now. It's not like I'm going to take a shower after we see the nurse.
Glad to hear it. Now, help me find my clothes. You tossed them somewhere.
Hey, you were no better. How am I supposed to explain that hole in my shirt, hmm?
Sorry. I got a little excited earlier.
Takes some time, but we finally were both more or less clothed. There's a frantic moment where neither of us knows where Emmy's wheelchair is, but I recall it going through the door and rescue it. Okay, I can get rid of the sensor now. Bring that back up.
Now be more careful going through the door this time, would you? Bumps are not my friend right now.
I am so sorry we tried this. Emmy shrugs and grins.
Well, it was worth a shot, right?
I mean, try something once.
And anyway, it was a good exercise, right?
Can't argue that. As we make our way up to the nurse's office, I notice that Emmy keeps shifting uncomfortably in her seat.
God, this feels weird. Good thing I'm in a wheelchair, Hasao.
Why's that?
Because now I don't have to explain to the nurse why I'm walking funny.
Oh. We're never doing this again. The nurse is at least kind enough to not comment on the marks that Emmy left on my shoulders. Nor does he say a word about Emmy's constant shifting about in her wheelchair. Either he didn't notice, or he didn't want to notice. All the same, I'm gonna have to make sure he didn't slip cyanide into my medication for a little while. Just to be safe. I shower for longer than usual, just to be sure I'm clean of our little experiment, and then collapse on my bed. Class is in 20 minutes, so I can probably afford a nap. Knock, knock. Who's there? Knock, knock. That's not how the joke goes at all. Knock, knock. I already said who's there. More importantly, what time is it? Even more importantly, what day? Is your boy, Kenji. I'm suddenly catapulted into wakefulness by both the fact that the knocking still hasn't stopped and the fact that it's noon. On a school day. Now fully awake, I can remember why I was napping. Better not give that excuse to Muto. Sorry I wasn't in class. I was experimenting sexually with my girlfriend and it tired me out. Yeah, that'll go over well. I wonder how long this knocking is going to continue. Guess I ought to answer the door. Yep. I'm strangely unsurprised to see Kenji on the other side. Though it appears that Kenji is surprised to see me. The hell are you doing here, man? Well, I was sleeping. Kenji nods in understanding.
Knocked out. I see.
I told you to be careful around that Ibarazaki chick, man. This is the sort of thing that happens when you aren't cautious. He makes an attempt to look at the back of my head. Did she hit you with something? Or was it a drug? Stop trying to touch me. Kenji produces a flashlight and shines it in my eyes. You got a concussion? I wasn't knocked out. Maybe you just don't remember. This conversation isn't going anywhere. No, I just had a tired morning and fell asleep. Whatever, man. If you want to be in denial about this, I guess I can't stop you. But you gotta watch out for that girl, man. She's not safe. What? She's not safe to be around. She's one of their most sinister agents. If you're not careful, there's no telling what could happen. She's brought down stronger men than you know. What the hell are you talking about? She's not an agent of anything, and she didn't knock me out, okay? I also highly doubt that she's brought down anyone at all. Kenji looks almost offended. I have no idea why. You don't believe me? That's cold, man. Real cold. I'm just trying to look out for you. That's what friends do, you know. We're friends? I had no idea. Then again, I wonder if Kenji knows what being a friend even entails. I feel something like pity for him, standing there before me. Maybe he does think he's looking out for me. I know. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the warning. I hold up my hand as a sign of peace. Kenji shakes it gingerly, like my hand could possibly be on fire. There's an awkward silence for a few seconds before Kenji remembers that he's still shaking my hand. Anyway, I need a favor. What kind of favor? I'm out of money. No, you aren't. You got money kept in your you got money kept in your desk drawer underneath a black notebook for emergencies. Did you ransack my room? That's not important. I don't need money anyway. He adopts a very serious tone. I'm about to undertake a major op. It'll blow the whole conspiracy wide open if I'm right. But it's dangerous, so I need you to do something for me in case I don't come back. Sure, man. Anything. What the hell is he planning on doing? Should I be telling someone about this? If I go missing, wait 3 days, and then mail my journal off to the newspapers. It's in my room under the false bottom of one of my desk drawers. How do I get into your room? I don't have a key. Kenji looks at me like I'm crazy. So pick the lock. You know how to do that, right? It's an important skill to learn at a young age. Yeah, of course I know how. I'll be sure to, do that for you. If you go missing. I don't think I want to read Kenji's journal. Yeah, we don't need, Kenji's manifesto. Either way, Kenji seems pretty happy that I've agreed to do this thing for him. Great, man. Great. I'll see you around. I got stuff to do. And he's gone, dashing down the hallway. He made it seem so final. I hope I don't have to carry out his final wishes. Shaking my head, I close my door and walk back to my bed. Guess I should go to class, if only to catch the last half of the day. But I've come this far without going to class today. And I did want to read more of that Hawking book Muto lent me. I'm sure he'll understand. Knock, knock. This time, the noise jerks my attention away from my book. An experience not unlike being woken up. Who's there?
Me! Aren't you glad?
The voice is muffled through the door, but unmistakably Emmy's. I hop up and open the door, smiling broadly. Hey! Nice to see you again. Emmy grins back, staring up at me from her wheelchair.
Yeah, you would have seen me earlier, but the damned elevator wasn't working. Had to wait for them to fix it. You'd think they'd keep it in better order, but no.
I chuckle a bit at her vexed expression and invite her in. She wheels in easily, and with my help, she hops up onto my bed.
There. Much more comfortable than that stupid chair.
A sign of contentment hangs in the air, and for a minute, we both just stare at one another. It's at that point I notice the circles under Emmy's eyes. They're not that dark, but they definitely weren't there before. Before I can ask about them, Emmy fixes me with a mischievous stare.
So I couldn't help but notice you weren't at lunch today. In fact, I don't think I saw you at all. What happened?
Fell asleep. I actually didn't wake up until lunch, and only then because Kenji woke me up.
What had you so tired?
Strenuous workout this morning. Slightly uncomfortable, too. Emmy coughs, a half-laughing, half-embarrassed noise.
Remind me not to do that again.
No problem. It wasn't exactly great for me either, to be honest. We'll just avoid that from now on. Are you, still sore? Emmy stares at me in disbelief.
Yeah, no shit. You put something up there and it hurt like hell. Of course I'm sore.
Oh, good lord. Emmy stares at me in disbelief. What? It's a legitimate question.
Of all the questions I've never thought I'd be asked, that's one of them.
Well, I didn't ever expect to have to ask it, so we're even. Emmy laughs at this.
I guess so, huh? Well, since you asked, yes. I'm still a little sore. We're never doing that again.
No arguments from here. A yawn escapes her, and I raise an eyebrow. Tired? Emmy nods sleepily.
Haven't slept well.
Not sleeping well? I can tell that she didn't mean to tell me this either, because she gives a little start like she's just been caught lying and hastens to add.
It's not a big deal, though.
What's the trouble? Emmy shrugs and refuses to elaborate. Stressed over exams? Another shrug, but after a pause, Emmy nods hesitantly.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, that's why I stopped by.
She begins to look more and more miserable. Not so you'd notice, of course, but her eyes are on her lap, and she's fidgeting, and her voice is quiet.
We need to stop hanging out so much.
Huh? Why? Emmy takes a deep breath, like she's been practicing this.
Because you're too much fun to be around. And I can't concentrate when you're near me. With exams coming up soon, I just can't have that distraction. Otherwise, my grades will be pretty lousy, I'm afraid.
I can help you study? She smiles at me, clearly unhappy with the situation.
I'd love it if you could, but we wouldn't actually study, would we? I mean, even now, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but I kind of just want to, not converse.
Ah. Overwhelmed by my rugged manliness? I understand. That earns me a grin, at least. Emmy shakes her head.
Idiot. You're full of yourself.
Well, I am pretty irresistible.
More or less, I guess. So, that's the situation, Hasao. I have too much fun around you, and if I'm gonna go into exams prepared, I need to be alone.
Hey, that's okay. It really seems to have been bothering her. Besides, it's only a couple of weeks, and we'll still see each other in the mornings and at lunch. We can just hang out at school. No problem. And after exams, we'll go on a date to celebrate their being over, okay? Emmy grins, pleased by this proposal.
Yeah, sure! That sounds great.
As if to signal the end of the conversation, she leans in and kisses me. The rest of the night is not spent worrying about exams. Yeah, gee, I wonder what they did. It's weird how easily Emmy and I can keep from seeing one another after class now. Actually, I'd venture to say that it's vaguely disturbing. As easily as we'd come together, we seem to have split apart without much trouble. Well, I guess that's not exactly true. We'd both been pretty bummed after that last night together. And we get to see each other every morning for our runs. And just our runs, I might add. Lunch, too. I especially enjoy lunchtime with her. We have plenty of time to talk about everything outside of school, whereas the morning runs have become increasingly businesslike. I think it's because Emmy wants to make up for our foolery in the storage shed. But no matter how much we joke at lunch, I can't help feeling a little worried about her. She seems distracted more often, and I've caught her fidgeting nervously more than once. Never figured her to be someone who cared that deeply about exams, but they certainly seem to be taking their toll. Even though they haven't even started. This is just the run-up, the deep breath before the plunge. Tomorrow, the real trials begin. Or the real exams, anyway. As for me, I don't actually feel that worried about exams at all. I'm not sure why. I mean, they're pretty important. My scores here will determine my odds of getting into a good university. Hell, if I'm too cavalier now, it could spell doom for my academic career. Hey, Sweaters, how's it going? Pretty good? That's good to hear. You missed stuff. Me, I'm doing pretty good. It was kind of a last-minute thing to stream Katawa Shoujo today. I was initially just going to do some Stardew, but figured, why not? I'll just do Katawa. And then Jen happened to be off today, so it kind of worked out. She got to tune in for these one scene she was waiting for the whole time. That's in the title of the stream. Gloves in the shed. Put it simply, boy and girl alone in the shed with a bottle of lube. So they do a little experiment. Yep. Yeah, they both agreed it was a terrible idea. Yep. So yeah, it's very hard. It was very hard for her to be sitting down afterwards, and she could do nothing but sit down for a while because she's stuck in a wheelchair for now. She can't use her prosthetic legs. Yep. But going into them, I feel confident that I'll come out the other side okay. Muto thinks I've got the science examination locked up at any rate. Or as he says, the last thing that should give you trouble is my exam, Hisao. It's way beneath your talents. Well then, oh my. Yep. Yep. Jen clipped a part of it. Like, just a lead up to it. So if you want to check that out, you can... Yeah. With my wonderful censor over the not censored sprite, which really popped up on me very fast when it actually did show up, so I'd scramble to turn my sensor on and adjust it. Then again, it is Muto who's telling me this. His praise of me carries the veiled implication that anything less than perfect from me would be a disappointment, which has actually caused me to fret more than I should about the exam. It's for that reason that I find myself in the library after class. They spell pouring wrong, unless that's another way to spell it. I'm actually gonna check that right now. Is there more than one way to spell pouring? I feel like no. Oh, never mind. That is actually a word specifically for reading and studying. I actually did not know that. Yep. Yep, that's a clip that's a happened. Yep. Pretty simple things to look over. Some formulas of velocity, a few bits about friction. A walk in the park compared to my dreaded English exam. Never was good with languages. As I flip through my notes one more time, my mind begins to wander. After these exams are over, things should get easier. Soon we'll be graduated. Then off to college, hopefully. I remember my abortive attempt to find out what Emmy plans to do after high school. She avoided the subject pretty deftly, as I recall. Heck, it seems that just about every time I push too hard, she dances around the subject. Or distracts me through other means. Like a few days ago at lunch, when Rin wasn't around. Huh. And in comes Yuko. What's going on here?
I've done it!
I'm startled from my reverie by Yuko's triumphant shout. Gah! Yuko seems mortified by my sudden starting.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I just got... and I wasn't... It's just that...
As she stutters, I move to quickly calm her down before she gets too agitated. Whoa, hey. My words seem ineffective. Yuko continues to work herself into a complete frenzy.
And it's a library, and I shouldn't be... Easy there. Just calm down.
Oh, she's crying.
And really, I'm setting a bad example, and now I'll get fired just because I can't do anything right.
Yuko! Shouting seems to work, though I draw the ire of several other students studying in the library. Yuko snaps to attention like a soldier who's just heard the captain bark an order.
Sorry.
Calm down. It's okay. You just startled me a little, and that's only because I was daydreaming instead of studying. So really, you got me back on task. This is a complete lie, but it seems to work. Yuko takes a deep breath and seems to calm down a little. Though she keeps shifting around with a nervous energy that seems awfully familiar. So what's got you so excited anyway?
The Yamaku cat burglar.
To her credit, Yuko manages to convey her intense excitement in a whisper.
I think I know who it is. I got an anonymous tip as to their identity. So I did some spying, and I think the tipster was right.
Oh, really? And who was this, burglar? Yuko shuts her mouth, shaking her head decisively.
Nope, can't tell you that.
Why not?
It's between me and the burglar. I can't risk you warning him now that I'm onto his game. He could tip his hand early and blow town. And then I'm left with no perp.
When did Yuko start talking like a hard-boiled detective? I wouldn't warn them. Why would I care?
If you've got to ask that question, then you don't need to know.
That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Congratulations, I guess.
Thanks. What for?
The, cat burglar thing? Yuko nods and smiles appreciatively.
So, studying for exams?
Well, that was the plan. I'm not having much luck, though.
Really? Is it because you can't find a book? I'm really sorry. I've been meaning to clean the shelves up for weeks now, but I keep getting distracted. I'm so sorry. Whoa, wait. It's not that. I got my book right here.
To illustrate the point and hopefully calm Yuko down, I show her the textbook in front of me. My mind just keeps wandering is all.
Is it because of the noise in here? I'm trying to be more strict about noise levels, but I can't bring myself to yell at people. I mean, aren't their lives hard enough without me throwing my authority around?
No, it's not the noise level either, I promise. I'm just... Hell, I don't know. Worried about Emmy. Worried about us. Worried about what happens after we graduate. Emmy's been kind of weird lately.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how we're dating now? I just don't know that we're actually, you know, a couple. Or at least I don't know that we're beyond friends. Though friends normally don't do the sort of things we do. Physically, we're a couple. Coupling, at least. It's like every time I try to find out more about her or what she wants to do with her life, she dodges the question. Like the other day, I was talking to her at lunch about some schools I've been looking into. And I asked her, have you looked into any schools lately? She shrugs in response, says no, and when I ask why not, she says that she doesn't think that far ahead. I asked why she had that policy, and I suddenly realize what I'm about to start describing, and wisely decide to clam up.
She what?
Change the subject. Yeah, they were alone on the roof. She did something to shut him up. And I don't think it was kissing. At the very least, someone's mouth was full of something. I'm pretty sure that's the implication. Yeah. No, there wasn't. There was one in her room right after she gets on the wheel. There was something on the roof. There was something in her room when she's first in her wheelchair. And the immediate next scene is the shed scene. The next one is until like near the end. But that's more or less the implication of what they did up on the rooftop. She did something. And I don't think they're bold enough during lunchtime to, have regular sex. So she did something that would potentially be a lot quicker. Yeah. Yeah. It's Emmy. She will do pretty much anything. Other than anal now. Steamy game, yes, but it's not at the point of the game. We're getting to the actual point. Soon-ish. Wouldn't talk about it.
Maybe it's an uncomfortable subject for her? Or she doesn't think it needs explaining.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Every time I try to find out what's been bothering her, she changes the subject too. Yeah, this is actually a very good game. It is 100% free. The soundtrack is free, all the art books are free, all on their own website. So if you ever feel like just kind of playing it on your own, go for it. It would not be a terrible decision at all. Yes, yeah, definitely. Definitely the steamiest. And I feel Lily's is the most heartfelt. And, you know. I mean, Jen, you saw the stream. You saw what the damn thing was doing to me at the end. There were tears. I did not show them on stream, though. I did not show them on stream. I held them back just long enough to get my screen up. Did I skip a line? I feel like I skipped a line. Oh, I did not. Good. Oh yeah, cling to the fragile masculine. It's not. No, I just don't like crying in front of people. Okay. It's nothing about the masculinity thing. It's just something I personally don't like. Okay. I just don't like showing people that side. Cry in front of anyone who will watch. It's like she likes being with me, but not getting close to me. Now that I've said it out loud, I feel worse. Yuko digests this bit of information.
You know, it seems to me that you're more serious about this than she is.
I can almost feel my stomach twist into a knot. She has an avoidant attachment style. She's right. That's exactly what it seems like. But is that really what's going on? I mean...
Sorry, I was just talking nonsense. You should take my advice. You barely know me. I'm just a librarian and I'm single, so you can imagine I can't know what I'm talking about.
No, I think you have a point. As much as it hurts to even consider it. Yuko seems to try desperately to find a way to soften the blow somewhat.
Look. I'm probably wrong, but if you want to be sure of how obviously wrong I am, maybe you should just talk to her. Get some time alone and just ask about it. And don't let her change the subject either.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should just enjoy what I have. We have fun hanging out after all. And the runs are nice, and the other activities are nice, and talking to her is nice. Do I really need to get closer to her? What I've got right now is pretty good. But that's silly. I want to get closer to her. I want to be able to help her out with whatever is bothering her. But maybe I should wait until after exams are over. Maybe she'll brighten up once the stress is past. If she does, then I don't need to worry about it anymore. But if she doesn't, well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I thank Yuko for her advice and head back to my room. Maybe I'll be able to concentrate more on my studies in there. I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. As I'd hoped, the exams weren't so bad. I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. And even that was acceptable. I wonder how Emmy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she was so exhausted. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm starting to really doubt that it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder. Hey, so? Got a minute? Am I gonna talk to Muto, or am I just gonna say, nah, I got other stuff to worry about? I mean, we just finished our exams. Do we really want to talk to him? But then again, we are part of the unofficial science club, so maybe it's about that. Yeah, let's talk to him. It's just a few minutes. Yeah, I've got some time. Nowhere important to be or anything like that. Muto raises an eyebrow, as if questioning my statement, then beckons me back into the classroom. I wanted to get some feedback from you, if I could. I know that this course wasn't quite up to your level. Don't worry about it. The science club activities more than made up for it. Did they? Well, in fact, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you think that was a worthwhile activity? Just for my own reference. Well, yeah. It was a great way to go further than we did in class. It was definitely worthwhile. Muto seems delighted by my response. That's great. Exactly the sort of thing I was hoping for. You know, Hisao, I'm glad you came here. It's always good to have a student who really gets into the subject you teach. In a way, it makes dealing with the rest of the students more tolerable. You're a bright kid, too. You took to this stuff like a duck to water, or some other such simile. Thanks. You were a great help. Especially with that college stuff. There's one more thing, Hisao. A bit of advice. From one scientist to another. What's that? What does a scientist do? Observe the world around him. Exactly. Good. A simple question, but one that most people can't seem to answer. That's the essence of a scientist, Hisao. We observe what's there and try to figure it out. But what if there's something you can't figure out? What's a scientist to do if he can't observe something? For example, can we talk about quarks when nobody has ever actually seen one? Or black holes when observing them directly is impossible? Well, scientific equipment's pretty advanced. Muto irritably waves away my response. No, that's not it at all. Those are tools. I'm trying to give you a philosophy. Think. If you can't observe something directly, then how can you observe it? Guess? How? How would you guess the movement of a quark? What is your guess based on? Of course. I should have thought of it earlier. The things it affects. Muto claps his hands together excitedly and whoops. Yes, exactly. Good. Remember that, Hisao. What? I know Bakugo is from My Hero. That much I know. If you can't examine something directly, it's because you're looking at it wrong. You have to look at it differently if you want to uncover the truth. And if it eludes you, then look at what it leaves behind. That is the essence of being a scientist. Never stop looking for the answer. Never take anything for granted. Observe, experiment, and observe some more. There's a lot of stuff out there that makes no sense, Hisao. Your job is to get it to make sense. I feel like Muto's one of the voices I try the least with, but I'll take the compliment, thanks. Much more in my range? Yeah, because it's just me speaking a little bit lower. Yeah, surprise, surprise, doing girl voices is not something really good in my range. If nothing else, I hope you've learned that here. I think I can remember that. Muto smiles, satisfied. Good. Now go enjoy your time off. You've earned it. I leave the room feeling a little confused. What brought that on? Although, am I going about this thing with Emmy the wrong way? If she won't tell me, then can I go about it some other way? The question keeps spinning in my head even after I made my way back to my room. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, won't that come off as clingy? I don't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would it be so bad to just let it go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company. But odd as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't even know what with or if there's anything at all she needs help for. But I want to. Suddenly, a knock at my door rouses me. I open it to see Kenji. Oh, it's you. It's me? That's it?
If you had any idea what I've been through, what I'd done, you'd be happy to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. And here you're just acting like I went down to the store for some milk. You're a cold man, Hisao. I really respect that.
Thanks, I guess?
It's smart to play it safe, you know. Don't show any emotion. Keep your cards close to your chest.
Unless it's time to show your cards. Or yeah, bad cards. They should fold or collect your winnings. Do you understand? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I take it the, mission went well? Whoa, awfully nosy of you, isn't it?
You can't just go saying things like that. Things are at a delicate stage. One wrong move and BAM! The invasion succeeds.
I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open.
It's bigger than I thought.
I need to update my charts. And probably change some of the puppets around. Want help? I got some whiskey from somewhere.
You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up.
Better not. I'm, supposed to meet her today. Gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicion. Kenji nods in approval.
Still keeping it close to the chest, eh? Okay, man. I respect that. Good luck.
Thanks. I'm just gonna pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he's wishing me luck in talking to Emmy. And if I squint, that whole card analogy he was talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can't get Emmy to do so, rather. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head for Emmy's room. I hop up the stairs leading to her room and knock on her door.
Who's there?
Huh? That's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. Thought I'd stop by.
Hisao? Come on in.
I reach down to open the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked.
Oh yeah, sorry. Give me a minute.
In a few minutes, Emmy opens the door grinning.
Sorry, I had to put my legs on. I was napping.
Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emmy's eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying. Hey, no problem. Are you okay? Huh?
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's just that you look like you've been crying? Oh yeah, Hisao. You're off to a great start on this one.
What? Nah, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you.
She punctuates this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us. I know what she wants to do now, but I'm also painfully aware how badly I want to do it too. But I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait. Emmy's eyes crinkle in confusion.
Huh? Wait for what?
We need to talk.
Isn't that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say?
She's got a point. It's usually the lead-in to a breakup. Or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it can be a good thing this time. That's the hope anyway.
Huh. Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things, and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running puts such a strain on them.
Can't argue with that. It's a trap. We both know it, and we both don't care. And again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the object of your affections. So maybe there's that motivation too. I set Emmy's legs by the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having kind of a rough time of it lately. You have to hope I have the rest of a good stream. Okay, Sweaters, thanks for stopping by, though. Hope your day goes well. And I want to help you out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying, and that kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it.
I told you, I'm fine.
No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you. You can tell me, you know. There's the slightest increase in tension in Emmy's voice.
Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough? You're concerned. I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine, and it's nothing you need to worry about.
Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine. I want to help.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong because Emmy fixes me with an icy stare.
So you want to fix me, Hisao?
She's definitely getting angry now.
Want to swoop in on your white charger and save the day? Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains? Restore what's lost?
Her voice catches in her throat, and the tears start to flow.
Well, you can't. Nobody can. Nobody will.
I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm surprised that Emmy tightens her grip on me rather than pushing me away. After a deep breath, she starts talking again.
Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares. About the accident.
The accident. I should have known. It took her legs after all, but it never comes up, of course.
And I usually deal with them fine, because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forwards, you know? Nothing else matters. Just getting around the next curve. And then it's the next curve, and the next, until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet. Today it just kind of boiled over a little.
You could have talked to me about it, you know? You didn't have to go it alone. Emmy smiles sadly, like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns.
Yeah, I did. And I do.
But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. Emmy leans in and kisses me on the cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth close to my ear as she confesses this one thing to me.
Because, Hisao, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again.
She pauses, as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I could feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues.
So I can't rely on you. Or the nurse. Or anyone else. Just me. That's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be.
Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is clearly over. I search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go for now. I've got stuff. Emmy doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which.
Okay, Hisao. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow.
I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Hey, Emmy.
Yeah?
1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out from me. What happened in that accident? I know she lost her legs, but that's never seemed to bother her. What happened there? What scares a girl so badly she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? I don't know. But I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my guts. Asao? You were saying? I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. And I'm closing the door. And walking down the hallway. Down the stairs. Out the door. Into the dark. Somehow I wander back to my own room. My brains are doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. I can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change. Living in the present and looking at the future. After this thing with Emmy, I'm not sure anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And unfortunately, no time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling, as if the answers I want were written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something. But have I not been doing the same thing? Trying my best to forget about my hospitalization? I am getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emmy has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with. Those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as the both of us can get. The room becomes darker and darker, till I can't really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore. Morning comes too soon, on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emmy's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling? Trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case. That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually. Almost like she were teasing me or chastising me for suggesting that the earth is flat. That's how it's got to be. The way it's got to be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I very nearly decide to skip the run. That would be stupid, though. It's not something I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I've started to enjoy the running itself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing anyway. Never thought I'd say it after that first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like, no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. It wakes me up too, and Emmy herself said that running always clears her mind. Maybe it'll help clear mine. I hope so. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. Summer's making itself known, it seems. Emmy's already stretching out when I arrive and greets me with a smile and a wave.
Hey, Hisao.
The sight of her so chipper is like a kick in the nuts. How could she be so happy after yesterday? I give a half wave and I'm surprised to receive a hug.
Hey, about last night.
Here it comes.
I wanted to say thanks. I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. So, thanks.
How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me she wouldn't get any closer to me. And that let her sleep well? Excuse me, but what the hell? Emmy either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled for now, but I think I'd better start running now before I do anything stupid. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, and before long we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's a stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. A pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else, but keeping my breath steady and legs moving. Guess those days are gone. At least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having at clearing my head, I increase the pace. Ah, there's the burning sensation in my legs. The breaths come ragged in my chest, the pounding of my heart, which I still need to be careful about. But it does seem to have gotten stronger. I can feel it pumping blood through my veins. The sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, I'm instead filled with elation. Yes, it's working. My heart, that fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm able to keep going now, and maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying as much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help, though not as much as I'd hoped. I do feel better, and as I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's gotta be a way around this. Some kind of middle ground I can reach. Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was almost feeling optimistic.
Nice run, Hisao. You've really improved.
Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hisao. You're pathetic. I gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet I just keep saying things that I don't mean. Any second now, I'll be as good at hiding my problems as Emmy is.
I'd like to think so.
Why does she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought because Emmy peers closely at me.
Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh?
Yeah, I'd hate to keel over on you. Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone.
Don't say things like that. You've already done it once before, you know.
Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. I thought she made that clear. Despite all of that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emmy does something or says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It was like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emmy and I could be more than what we are. And what are we at this point? Little more than friends who happen to fuck. And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. Said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up with her. I was just gonna hop in there and let it ride, wasn't I? This running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emmy. Emmy comes bounding out the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office to give me the ritual once-over. Any problems today? Nah, I even pushed it a little harder today than I have in the past, and I seemed able to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hisao. You've been hanging out with Emmy too much. She's rubbed off on you, and not necessarily in a good way. At the mention of Emmy's name, I can't help but frown unhappily in spite of my efforts at control. Well now, this is new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response to Emmy's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emmy doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looked more relaxed than I've ever seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of the year. What do you mean by that? By what? For this time of year. I keep trying to find out what's been bothering her, and she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. Then last night, she said... Let me guess. She won't tell you, because she says she can't trust you? And now you're crushed, because you thought that the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right? More or less. How the heck do you know? Sao, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. Plus, I've known Emmy long enough to know that she'd try to do something like this. It's just like her. He says this in a sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips. As it is, he seems willing to make do with a pen. Look, you mind if I give you some advice? I'll take whatever advice I can get. He knows her clearly better than me. What was it Muto said yesterday? If you can't observe the thing, then observe what's around it? Worth a shot. The nurse knows Emmy better than I do, I'll wager. Sure, I'm open to suggestions. Honestly, I'm kind of lost. I've got no idea how to deal with this. I never would have guessed. He grins while he says this. I think he's kidding. Look, here's the deal. Emmy is stubborn. You should know that by now, and if you don't, then you're pretty unobservant. But I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here. I'm so grateful. Anyway, if she's decided that she doesn't want to talk about what happened, then she's not going to talk about what's happened. Has she said anything about what's been bothering her? Even a hint? Well, she did say she'd been having nightmares about the accident. Really? You're making progress then. That's good. Well, I guess I can fill you in on this without violating my strict non-interference policy when it comes to Emmy making stupid decisions. The anniversary of her accident is coming up soon. She gets depressed around this time, because it was a pretty traumatic event considering what she lost. That's the other thing. She acted like she lost more than just her legs. What happened? Whoa! Nope, not going there. You'll have to ask someone else about that, because that's a whole can of worms I'm not about to open. If Emmy wants you to know, she'll tell you in her own time. You've just got to be patient, that's all. Why are you even helping me with all this? Because you're good for her. She trusts you, even if you don't think she does. And you've got the best chance out of anyone at this school right now to help her through this time of year. She won't accept my help, but she might accept yours if you don't screw it up. So don't screw it up. Got it? I open my mouth to respond, but a knocking sound at the door interrupts me.
Hey, you guys still in there?
Just a moment, Emmy. Give us a second to put our pants back on. The door bursts open and Emmy glares knives at the nurse.
Asshole.
Didn't mean to get your hopes up.
Hey, can we leave me out of this?
Anyway, what's up, Emmy? Forgot something? I try to take a more cheerful tone with her. No need to upset her. Two can play the everything's fine game.
Actually, I forgot to ask you something.
Oh? What's that?
Do you want to come with me on a trip to my house? My mom's making dinner, and I thought you might want to join us.
Well, of course I accept. Emmy punches the nurse in the arm playfully.
Not you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to Hasao.
Oh, how interesting. Meeting the parent. I'd love to go, Emmy. Thanks. The nurse raises an eyebrow, but says nothing.
Great. I'll be in my room. Swing by after you shower and change into something clean, and we'll grab the bus.
Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting off to my room. What an interesting development. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emmy's finally ready to open up a little. Or maybe she's just being polite and a free meal seems like a good way to apologize for last night. Great. Now I can't decide whether to be excited, nervous, or depressed. I settle for a combination of all three and hop in the shower. I think I'm near the end of Act 3, so I'm just going to keep going until it ends. Because why not? Start off the next stream on Act 4. I don't think I like riding on buses. Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that as a fact. They sway a lot, and they smell funny, and you can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emmy's legs keep making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus. She's in shorts again, and she's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetics so they don't look so obviously false again. But that doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat, and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares. Either that, or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she noticed anymore. Not that she'd ever tell me if I asked. Another fact is, I'm not just uncomfortable about the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to bring me closer, while at the same time pushing me away. The nurse said she trusts me, even if it doesn't look like it. But I'm not sure I can trust the nurse. He's protective of Emmy, just like I'm protective of Emmy. And I'd be likely to say something to make her look good if someone asked me about her. So he might just be doing that. Still, there was something about the way he seemed genuinely surprised that Emmy invited me along. Maybe last night's talk helped more than I think, but I'm still worried. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, but that was just as an acquaintance. Now it's going to be as Emmy's boyfriend, with everything that implies. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, an echo of that snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I'll be able to live normally now. Or at least as normally as possible. Now, if only I could manage my relationship as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape.
Well, we're here.
Emmy grabs my hand as soon as we stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately.
Come on, we got a couple blocks until my place.
What? Oh, okay. I follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mom do this sort of thing often?
Nah, not too frequently. Mom's never been much for playing hostess.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over.
This sudden and unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard. From the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. And all I remember is that Emmy's mom told me he wasn't around anymore. Oh? Your mom prefers solitude? Emmy laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her father, or from finding my statement actually funny.
Not at all. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know. She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful that way, or so she says.
Clearly she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone.
Nervous, Asao? You shouldn't be, you know. It's not that big a deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all.
Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before? I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emmy's past relationships. I don't even know if there were past relationships.
No, I guess I haven't.
I mean, she admits we're dating, she just doesn't want to get close. We are indeed boyfriend and girlfriend, but, that's just a label? It's like, yeah, sure, we're dating. But I don't want you to actually, help me or care, because I'm not going to do that to you. We're just going to date, we're going to kiss, we're going to fuck in the shed, that's about it. They basically are just more friends with benefits.
Hey, maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all.
Oh, good. Now I feel twice as nervous. Though to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one. Maybe we've got something special after all. Bolstered by this new thought, I've managed to calm down considerably by the time Emmy knocks on her front door.
Hey, Mom, open up. We're here.
Oh, yay, I get to do this voice again. The door swings open and Miss Ibarazaki stands grinning at her daughter. The grin is surprisingly similar to Emmy's. I'm never gonna get used to that.
You know, people normally wait for a few minutes before they start shouting at the door. And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away. Ah, of course. Welcome home, dear. I've missed you.
An affectionate hug later, we're inside, and it is only then that Emmy's mom seems to remember that I'm actually here.
Oh, and hello to you too, Sal. How are you?
I'm quite well, thank you. Nice not have school to worry about for a little bit.
Ah, yes, you finished up your exams, haven't you? That must be quite a relief for both of you.
It's certainly a weight off my mind, that's for sure.
Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks last night from relief alone.
Oh, nice. Now she's just lying to her mom about it. If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest.
Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emmy. You know I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams.
Certainly Emmy's mother knows something I don't. Or rather, she doesn't know that Emmy's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting, being able to observe how Miss Ibarazaki covers for Emmy. A protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emmy's willing to tell me. I suppose Emmy's got more in common with Quarks than I ever realized. Moves around fast, impossible to understand through direct observation, yet she has an effect on everyone she encounters. I wonder if Ms. Ibarazaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything a secret from everybody?
Yeah, it's not been as bad as this year as in the past. Sal helped me stay focused.
Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day. And she told me more than once that the morning run was the only thing she looked forward to during exams. So maybe it's not that much of a lie. Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emmy's mother raises an eyebrow at this statement. Either she doesn't believe Emmy, or she's as surprised as I am.
Well, then it appears that it's a good thing you two have become so close. I tell you to take good care of my daughter, Sal, but it looks like you're already doing that.
Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to... What? Ingratiate? Okay. Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having to ingratiate myself with her mother so easily. Oh, good word. Oh, good word, yeah. Again, they clearly had a thesaurus lying around when they did this. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's gotten me out and running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was. Even before... I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor had I ever appreciated the humor in it. Or they are articulate people with an extensive vocabulary. Okay, yeah, alright, my vocabulary is limited. Har har, I don't know lots of words. Yes, okay. The randos off of 4chan know more bigger, better words than me. Whatever. I would love to play poetry for Neanderthals with you. Oh my... Yeah. Okay. sure. Sure! Why not? Can't use a word that has more than one syllable. Great. Great. Yeah, I don't know why I'm admitting this, but I have trouble with syllables. I don't know how many are in each word. I never understood it. So go ahead. Mock me for that too. Me caveman, me dumb. No understand big word. Oh, just count how many vowel sounds it makes. Is the easiest way. Wow. It only took 28 years for someone to actually, explain it in a simple way. That makes sense. Wow. 28 years. And it just took one line. The cake is one because you only hear the A. Okay. Alright, cool. Chalk that up to another lesson Jen has given me. That's yet another one. Water is two because the A and the ER. Alright, yeah, there we go, peeps. Yeah, we had to look at what constitutes a syllable when playing the game because there was an argument about the word fire. Fire. I mean, just from the sound of it, it could be two, but I could see an argument for it only being one. Now you got me curious. Wow, the first thing on the Google search, how many syllables in fire? And Google says 2. Clearly it was a common question people have asked if it's the number one if I type in how many syllables in. And fire was the first thing that came up. It's 2, but Lindsay says she's southern, it's only 1. Well, Google said 2. Fire. Fur. Not the fur. Well, Google says 2, so I'm gonna go with 2. Yes, anyway, back to the game. Mom's food, let's go. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pickup games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my lucks with the help of my medication. I chuckle quietly, then realize I never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack and wound up at school here. Comes out so casually. There was a time that I would have thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now it just seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emmy and her mother. If Emmy can be cavalier about her disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet, where Emmy declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in the wheelchair frustrated her, I know. But even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary.
Emmy has a way of bringing out the more active side in people. I've never quite figured out how she does it.
Those puppy dog eyes she gets, for starters.
I'm not surprised she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. If Rin weren't just as stubborn as she is, I'm sure that Emmy would have gotten her out and running with you too. Oh, that reminds me. Rin says hello.
I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emmy's mom has produced is impressive.
Whoa, you've made enough to feed an army in here. Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers with you when you go.
That sounds great! I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home-cooked would be a welcome change of pace.
What he said. Thanks, Mom.
The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in conversation while we dig in. Emmy assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set a pretty fast pace myself.
So, Sal, I hear that you and my daughter here have gotten rather close,
The urge to say something like, "not really," is so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert control. We are close. There's no getting around it. I mean, Emmy's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emmy and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard, rather than considering saying something cruel. I suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself.
You make it sound like a bad thing, Hasao. Well, I for one found it a relief.
Why's that?
Em has always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends.
This is a bit of news to me. I've always seen Emmy chatting with her classmates in the hallways. And certainly the whole track team seems to love her, but it is true she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Rin and me. Not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl, after all. Then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say that I'm surprised.
I was beginning to have my doubts.
Emmy rolls her eyes to the ceiling and grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh?
What?
What's that you just said?
Nothing.
Ms. Ibarazaki chokes on her drink with laughter.
You've been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emmy. I'm gonna have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter.
Somehow I don't think that would be very effective. God damn it, Emmy, stop making that face.
I learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. Don't listen to her, Sal. She's a born liar. Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mother has a point.
What? You traitor! You're supposed to take my side in this!
Yeah, but you did lie about your leg after the Ow! A kick in the shins from an unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off, but not before Ms. Ibarazaki's eyebrows shoot upwards.
What about your leg? It wasn't a big deal, that's all. I just was in a wheelchair for a bit.
The last few mumbled words are quickly deciphered by Emmy's mother. I suspect she has experience with this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face.
So that's why he kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately.
Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak.
Well, of course. She spent enough time in that chair just after the accident.
She didn't get the prosthetics immediately?
No, she had to finish healing up before they let her start the sort of therapy you've got to go through to adjust to those things. Especially since she wanted to run on them.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Rin's mural at the festival?
Emmy's sudden change of topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mother.
No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet. It seemed pretty weird to me. I think that's more or less what was going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike. Rin's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. That's not surprising. I don't think Rin expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff they wouldn't otherwise understand. But all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way.
I'm surprised that Emmy's talked about this with Rin extensively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expect that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely, but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thoughts for a while, losing track of the conversation.
Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask. Huh? Are you going to visit your father this year?
From the way she says it, you'd think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she'd just been slapped in the face.
Can we talk about this later?
Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Ms. Ibarazaki misjudged how close Emmy and I are. Some things, it seems, are best not conversed with me around. Her father is one of these things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things, if her reaction to the earlier conversation between her mother, and myself is any indication. It doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she screwed up.
Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask so I can make plans. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Emmy fidgets nervously, as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today. Less than a few hours ago, even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? Oh god, my throat's getting dry. Unless whatever sincerity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as she thought. Or claimed.
I'll be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room.
Emmy gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mizuburazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her, or should I stay here? It's obvious that Emmy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. How to go about it. Do I go after her or talk to her mom? Both very, very good choices. But only one seems like the correct option. Now, if we take Muto's advice, we talk to her mom. Kind of try to treat Emmy like a cork. We can't observe her directly, so we'll observe the things around her. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should just go straight at her? Just like, tell us what the hell is going on. Come on. Enough of this. Ugh. Holy crap. Yeah, let's try a different approach. Let's talk to the mom. There's an awkward silence at the table for a while after Emmy dashes off. I can't think of anything to say. Emmy's mother sighs, breaking the silence. One second. about that. I needed something to drink. My throat is incredibly dry. Alright.
Sorry about that, Hisao. I sometimes forget that Em is touchy about certain subjects. And I was talking about the wheelchair thing too.
Should I go after her?
Heavens, no! She didn't leave the table to continue the conversation, you know.
But if she's troubled, shouldn't someone help her?
If it were anyone else, I'd say yes. But my daughter is stubborn as a mule, and if she wants to be alone, it's best to let her be alone. Otherwise, she'll probably say something she'd regret, which would cause you to say something you'd regret, and I prefer that dinner doesn't end with one or the both of you storming out of the house. If that were to happen, I'd be a terrible hostess, wouldn't I? I've already acted as a fool once today.
That's okay. I shouldn't have brought up the wheelchair, apparently. Ms. Ibarazaki frowns, clearly more bothered by Emi's omission than she'd let on.
I wish she wouldn't do that. It just makes me worry more, you know.
She does this often?
What, running off to the bathroom? No, I can't say she does. Keep injuries from her mother, though? Well, that's a little more common. Every time I catch a line like that, she assures me the only reason she didn't tell me is because it wasn't a big deal.
If it's any consolation, I'm sure the only reason I knew about it at all is because I saw her every day. This elicits a dry chuckle from across the table. Miss Ibarazaki sighs, a little sadly.
Still hesitant about getting close to people, huh? I keep hoping she'll get over that. It's funny, really. She bounced back so well from the accident in so many ways. I guess some things never really go away.
From the looks of it, the whole thing still bothers her too. She seems a little more willing to talk about the accident without Emmy around, though. Hey, I've got a question, if it's alright.
Oh?
What else did Emmy lose in that accident? The nurse said she gets this way near the anniversary, and she won't talk to me about it.
So you thought I'd fill you in,
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, there's a problem with that request, you know.
Let me guess. You promised Emmy you wouldn't tell anyone she didn't want to know, and you don't know if she wants me to know?
Something like that. I promised Emmy that she'd be the one to tell people the full story.
But isn't that important? I mean, it's clearly had a huge effect on her if she's still like this so long after the accident happened.
That's true. It did have a long-lasting effect on her. There are a few things that she'll probably never really get over.
For a moment, Ms. Ibarazaki seems incredibly saddened, as if an old wound is bothering her.
I suppose there are a few things I'll never really get over either.
Another dry chuckle, and with a shake of her head, Emmy's mother banishes the memory.
Look, there's something you absolutely must understand about the way Emmy thinks about the accident.
What's that?
It wasn't a big deal.
Somehow I managed to keep my mouth from falling open in surprise, but it takes some effort. That has to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I beg your pardon?
Okay, maybe it's not as simple as that simple, but it's a pretty accurate summation. Emma believes that the accident did not define her, and that everything she lost that day didn't define her either. She's not the girl who lost her legs. She's the fastest thing on no legs. Her optimism and energy came out of that wreck without a scratch as far as she's concerned.
And it goes beyond that, doesn't it? I mean, last night she told me that she refused to rely on me because because it would make losing me too painful.
Not really. You said she won't tell you about the accident, even though you've asked her about it before. The reason she won't talk about it when you ask because to her it's not something you absolutely need to know. Even if she wasn't terrified of getting too close to anyone, she still wouldn't talk about it.
She's afraid of being close to me?
Oh, goodness me, yes. For all that talk about being unscathed by the accident, she's gained an ugly knowledge of how quickly it can all be over. So she's not going to let people get especially close to her, and she certainly would resent any implication that she cannot work through this on her own.
Oh, hell.
But I don't think she can. Oh no? Are you sure you've been dating my daughter and not somebody else? Trust me, Hisao, she can get through it on her own.
But she has nightmares and can't sleep well, and
she does this every year. Tell me, if she wasn't able to get through it on her own, do you really think she'd still be alive? She would have killed herself, or something equally melodramatic.
So what? I shouldn't try to help her?
I didn't say that. I hate seeing my daughter like this, and knowing she can rely on someone else would let me relax. You just need to understand that accepting help goes against everything Emmy thinks about herself and the way the world works. If you still want to offer her help, then I guess that's your call. Honestly, I'd like you to, but it'd be silly not to warn you that it's not going to be easy. You just need to be patient with her. She's already closer to you than anyone else she's ever met at Yamaku.
Well, it sure doesn't feel like we're very close.
Good. That makes this part easier.
Emmy's voice nearly gives me a heart attack. Whoa! Didn't hear you come back, Emmy.
How convenient.
Wait, were you eavesdropping?
Nope. Just happened to come back at the right moment, I guess. Emmy, Hisao was just...
Emmy holds up a finger, cutting her mother off.
On his way out of the house? Yeah, I know.
Emmy's trembling with anger now, looking vaguely betrayed.
Emmy, don't be ridiculous. We were just... You promised!
The pain carried in that last word is almost too much for me to bear. The idea that I could hurt her that much is like being kicked in the gut. Emmy's mother looks similarly pained by the thought.
And I kept that promise. Just listen, there's no reason to go throwing people out of the house.
Emmy's mother seems to be both angry at her daughter's outburst and embarrassed that I'm a witness to it. There's only one real solution to this problem, I think. It's okay. I'll go.
Now really, that seems a little unnecessary.
Don't worry about it. Thank you for dinner, Mrs. Ibarazaki, and for the advice.
It was my pleasure, Hisao. I'm sorry we didn't get to the dessert.
That's okay. I have to watch what I eat anyway. Good evening, Emmy, Miss Iburazaki. The formality of our conversation, coupled with the fact that I'm getting ready to leave, seems to snap Emmy out of her anger.
No, wait, I'm sorry. I've been so... And after last night, I just thought... You don't have to go. I take it back. It's okay.
I can't help but smile slightly. She can barely articulate her apology, and I really would like to stay. But I don't think I can, right now. I need to think about what her mother said, and about what I'm going to do about us. I don't want to risk accidentally getting Emmy angry again in her current state, either. No, I think it'd be better. I think I'd be better. Damn it, I'm already screwing up talking again. No, I think I'd better leave. You seem pretty shook up, and, well, I'd only wind up trying to help you again. I know you'd prefer I didn't, so I'm gonna leave instead.
But...
Hey, it's not a problem. You don't want a night on a white charger, right? Just promise me one thing, okay?
What?
Don't be angry at your mom, okay? She was just giving me some advice, that's all. Emmy nods hesitantly, like this simple idea is all she can grab onto at this point. She's so terribly off balance, but I can't do anything about that right now.
Okay.
See you tomorrow, okay? Running in the morning. Don't forget! I can see I've hurt Emmy by deciding to leave. But there's nothing I can do for her as things stand, and I know that she's too stubborn to admit that she wants me to stick around. I watch various emotions cross Emmy's face as she tries to process everything that's just happened. Shortly comes that calm look again, like last night, and that voice that tries so hard to sound careless.
Sure, Hisao. See you around.
Both of us are unwilling to concede emotion at this point. I'm having a hard time keeping up my facade, so I turn on my heel and walk out the door. I shut it behind me slowly, pausing for a moment as the latch catches, my hand on the doorknob. Did I make the right decision just now? Should I have stayed and tried to work things out? No, I decide. Not in front of her mother like that. In spite of everything, I'd rather keep Emmy's mother insulated from the sort of anger that surfaced last night. Even though she's probably used to it, some protective instinct wants me to keep Emmy's image as a cheerful girl intact. With a start, I realize my hand is still resting on the doorknob. I take my hand away and put it in my pocket and head down the slowly darkening street. I let out a long breath. The wait until tomorrow morning comes isn't going to be easy. In any case, I have to think on what to say to Emmy. I must apologize, and I must get through to her somehow. On that account, something has been on my mind for most of the way back to my room. The letter of apology from Iwanako. I was so concerned about my new life when I received it that I didn't even bother to really read it. Now that I find myself in a similar position, my curiosity got rekindled. What did she want to let me know so badly? If nothing else, reading her thoughts might help me frame mine. I remember tossing it away. Damn, where did I throw that thing? I check under my desk. That turns up nothing, so I look for harder to reach, more unlikely locations. Well, now I know where that lost sock went at least. Still no letter though. It's when I try sweeping my arm under my nightstand that I feel something crinkly jammed between it and the wall. Grunting a little with effort, I reach for my prize and soon manage to bring it into the light. Bingo. I sit at my desk and spread the crumpled paper open. A flick turns on the table light. Skipping past the empty pleasantries, I look for the point where I stop reading. Ah, here it is. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times when I visited you at the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seem to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure, but somehow I got the feeling that you'd given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? Giving up on happiness. This sounds unpleasantly familiar. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I am really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far if I had said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't? Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you've been doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. After finishing the letter, I smooth it out carefully and set it aside on my desk. Thank you, Iwanako. I wanted to answer yes to your question on that snowy winter day, but I never got to. By the time we meet again, it was too late. It's a letter, Iwanako sent us. She sends it in every route. It starts off just kind of like, how you doing? Things are kind of getting stressful here because it's our final year, and then just kind of ends off with, yeah, just kind of ends off with it's probably best if we don't see each other again kind of thing. It's like a severely delayed Dear John letter. It's like the relationship was 100% never going to come back together. And it's been months since they've actually seen each other at all. But she still sent the letter anyway. Feeling like she'd had to put it to rest. And each route, he kind of looks at it a different way every time. In Lily's route, he just saw it straight up as a letter of her getting rid of her responsibility for ever having to think about or care about him. And now this time around, he's just kind of thinking more about it, how it kind of relates to his current situation. How she is currently, how Iwanako back then is kind of going through the same feelings Hisao is going through now with Emi. It's kind of putting things into perspective for him. So everything in the letters are essentially the same. It ends the same way. They're saying it's probably best if they don't ever meet again, but if you want to write to me, go ahead. It's just all about how he actually interprets it. Or so I thought. What would have happened if I had behaved differently back in that dismally sterile hospital room? I'm sorry. There's no point in wondering now. There's no point in trying to forget either. I am who I am because of all that happened to me, and all I look forward to experience. Present, future, and past. And the past may have just taught me an important lesson. Act 4. Motion. And I'm going to save here. And that's as far as I'll go with Katawa Shoujo for today. And there we go. We got all the cut-ins for Emmy's route on here now. So there was our cut-in for Act 1, Act 2 of Emmy and Lily, Act 3, and now Act 4. It's a little longer, but that's fine. I'd rather the next time I play this be right into the next act. I want to just see. So with Emmy now on her next act here of Act 4, and oh wow. I am 42% done the entire game. What is next time? Well, I'll just kind of lay out a brief schedule for the rest of this week. My plan for at least tomorrow is probably to do more Stardew. Unless you happen to be off as well tomorrow or Friday. So I'll gladly keep going to that if you're free. Because kind of as it stands right now, I'll probably just be hopping back and forth between this and Stardew, unless I think like the internet will handle another game. Working Thursday, Friday? Okay, so yeah, Thursday, Friday is just going to be some Stardew. Maybe I'll experiment with, see, hey, will this game run? But it probably won't. Either way, so yeah, 12 o'clock tomorrow is just going to be some more Stardew. Next time I do Katawa Shoujo will potentially be Sunday, depending on what my schedule for that week ends up being. I won't know yet until, like, 5 o'clock Friday. But by 5 o'clock Friday, I will also be in work then. Because I do work Friday, but in the afternoon. So I can still stream at my usual 12 o'clock, but then, like, almost immediately after, I gotta start getting ready for work. Go back to just me for now. God, I love this opening, like the menu music. It's just nice and calming. A great way to just kind of start and end a stream. So yeah, tomorrow and Friday, 12 o'clock is just going to continue to be Stardew for about 2 hours. No stream Saturday again because I am working at like 11 or 1. Yeah, working at 1 o'clock all the way to like 9, so no stream Saturday at all. Anyway, don't really have much else to add here. I might try later on today in a not stream just to see if I have any other games that will work, so I can add on to that, because I'm only going to be able to play Stardew and Katawa Shoujo for so long. I already know I'll have no problems running Doki Doki with a mod, so I could probably do a few of those after Katawa, or before I end it. I don't know, maybe I'll swap back and forth or something, not sure yet. Either way, I know that will work. It's looking like visual novels will have to be something I'll have to do for a bit, which is okay because I mean I like Katawa Shoujo. I clearly like at least the one mod I did for Doki Doki, and I did enjoy vanilla Doki Doki, at least watching everyone else play. When we when we do mods and stuff, yes, I will be going for best girl. Always. Always go for best girl. Why would I do it any other way? That's why I started Katawa Shoujo by going for best girl, Lily. Noise, want to know more about her character? Yeah, that's a save best girl for last usually. Yeah, that's the thing. I know you wanted to play through some of those mods, but I also don't want you having to. I don't know. Eh. I'll work something out with the Doki Doki side of things. Let's see. I mean, I still got a lot of Katawa to go. Otherwise, I feel bad about the ending. Did still do, but it's hard with work. Yeah, that's true. I mean, summer is a few months away. But who knows what'll happen with everything. And the voices hurt. I like to do longer streams, but I simply can't when voicing all the characters. I feel you. I totally feel you on that. I mean, look at all the Gundam streams I did with all those voices. And even Katawa has been... nuts. I absolutely need a drink when I do these. I think that's why a lot of bigger streamers usually like have a few people with them to divvy the voices up so they're not the only ones doing them. Oh my god. I'm glad it was really limited to just Hisao, Emi, briefly Kenji, and then her mother. If you threw Rin or Misha in there too, oh good lord. I'm also running out of voices to give to people. If like one more freaking character showed up, I'd have to give them a stupid Shaggy voice or something. I'm not 100% confident on Shaggy. I mean, sort of am. I also do a very awful Toad voice that'll just destroy my voice if I do it for very, very long periods of time. And I feel like I'd peak my microphone if I did that voice. Anyway, so yeah, 12 o'clock tomorrow, Friday, Stardew Valley. So, I'm hoping everybody has themselves a great rest of their Wednesday. And I'll see you next time.